Welcome to the podcast, everybody. We're excited to have you listening this week.
We are all of you, all thousands of you. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Super, super high up in the thousands. Just kidding.
Tens of thousands, maybe. I don't know.
Yes. Well, Dad, how's your week been?
So I'll tell you, I had a good week. I was able to see you and the babies for a little bit on two different occasions. Jonathan and I went up. We did a little man vacation, a little man venture, I'll call it. So we were up there in your neck of the woods. We did the Via Ferrata up in Vernal, Utah. So if you don't know what that is, essentially it's you're climbing on the face of mountains. Somebody has gone up there and put these like rebar climbing areas, and so you're like literally on the face of a mountain where like if you fell off you would surely die, but you're attached through harnesses and stuff to it. So a lot of the risk factors kind of gone, but it was adrenaline producing. It was funny. Like I do the Whoop app, and later that day, it was like, you were under high stress for over 8.5 hours today. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just thinking about that, I'm like, okay, imagine if you're the person that's creating this thing. Like you're doing that without any rebar there, like that's crazy to me. That's
Yes.
crazy.
I think what they did is I think they probably rappelled down, drilled it in, and then there was like these there's some Dustin, the guy we were with, he knew more about it, but there's like this liquid concrete they essentially put in there and then it hardens. So I no doubt like what they did, like hiking up there with all that material and stuff would be incredibly exhausting. But I mean the highlight, so there's this double black diamond route that we end up taking. Like, hey, this is the first time we've ever done this. Let's do the most difficult thing that's available. Um, so you're like you're climbing just straight up. The pegs are a little bit smaller, but it's never like at no point like am I thinking like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Until we're about 600 feet above the valley floor. And then there's this 75-foot spiraling ladder. And we're like, yeah, let's do this. Like we're brand new. Let's do it. So I'm like probably 25% of the way up this ladder. And then all of a sudden I kind of like start having like, I mean, I wouldn't say a panic attack because it definitely wasn't that, but I would say like a little bit of nervousness where I'm like, oh my gosh, like if this ladder falls, I'm dead because it's kind of swinging a little bit.
Yeah.
And anyway, so I kind of had this moment of like nervousness. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? Like, you're going to be fine. And if you die, it's a cool way to die. Just focus on what you got to get done and do it. And so, like all of a sudden, you're just focused on like moving your stuff up, your clamps up, and all of a sudden you're just like you don't have time to worry about like, oh my gosh, I might fall and die. You're just worried about getting up to the next rung. And it was pretty cool. It was crazy, but it was pretty fun. I would do it again. 100%. I would do it again.
I know you guys sent a lot of really cool pictures to our family group channel. Looked like a lot of fun for you guys.
It was fun. How
Well,
about you? How
that's
was your
good.
week? Any highlights for you guys?
I yeah, I don't we we I do have some highlights. I was like, what the heck did I even do this week? Sometimes I forget. But so our friends, they went camping. We didn't go camping, but we went to their campsite one of the nights that they were there, and we just had like a little dinner, hangout, s'mores and fire and stuff, and it was super fun. I love just going out and doing things like that with the kids. And they one of the couples that was there, they have a little dog, and the dog is so cute, and the kids love dogs. They
That's
love
cool.
dogs from afar though. And so it's always fun seeing them try to interact with animals when they're a little bit more out of their comfort zone. Like Eliza, she needed eyes on Suki the whole entire time. And so like she would be across the table, Suki the dog's on the other side of the table, and she's like looking under, she's like, where's Suki, and like trying to make sure she has eyes on her the whole entire time. So it was super fun and super cute. And then that night, Brandon got a call from his boss, and his boss invited us to go boating with him the next day. And so we woke up and we went boating, and Eliza loved it. She was so sad to have to get off the boat, but she had so much fun. Joshua loved the water and just wanted to be in the water like the whole entire time, but it was so much fun. It was really fun getting out and doing. I just like doing stuff like that with the
What
kids. It's
what
fun.
which lake were you guys on?
We went to Utah Lake, so
Fun.
yeah, it was
Super
super
fun.
fun.
I'll tell you what,
Yeah.
I love going out on a boat, but I'm like too cheap to buy a boat and store a boat and buy a truck that needs to pull a boat. And so the next best thing is to have a friend that has a boat that takes you out. So
I know.
good score on that
That's what I
one.
told Brandon. And I was like, Brandon was like, "So, you ever want to get a boat?" I was like, "I don't know. It's a good thing we've got a friend with a boat so we don't have to do that."
Well, so
But
look, maybe we can dive in on this one and start off like so. Today we're talking about
yeah.
advice, like advice received, and one of the things I've heard a number of times is the best day. There's the two best days in a man's life is the day he buys a boat and the day he sells it. You know, because like they're so excited they can't wait, and then like by the time they sell, it, they're like good riddance because of everything I just mentioned, right? Like it's not cheap. You got to store it. You got to insure it. Every time you take it out, just expect something's going to break or you're going to have to fix it and it just adds up and the gas isn't cheap. If you take friends out, like they may not want to help clean it and all that kind of stuff. And so
Mhm.
anyway, excuse me.
Bless you.
uh, yeah.
I know. So like on top of that too, like after when we're done boating and everything, we're cleaning off the boat and we were talking to Brandon's boss and he's like, "Yeah, like people like the little bottles of cleaner people usually buy, they're like $15 a bottle." And he's like, "So I just
Wow.
make my own." But it's like there's just like things on top of things that you have to pay for and it sounds expensive. It just sounds
A-
expensive to me.
And look, Brandon probably have no problem with this, but like for
Mhm.
me, the thought of backing up a trailer like at a busy
Oh,
boat ramp, I'm like, oh my gosh, okay, I got to pull out and straighten out again.
yeah. Yeah, I would not be good at that, but Brandon, he probably would do really good at that.
I mean, I've seen some horror stories where like the dad's backing up the boat and then the mom's in it and but like they forget to like put in the boat plug or whatever and so all of a sudden it's filling up with water and they're like, "Oh no." Or like the wife puts it on or the husband puts it on the trailer but it's like not on all the way and then they drive off and it
Yeah,
falls off the trailer and you're like, "Oh."
that would just be
The worst.
terrible.
Yeah, the worst.
Yeah, especially if it's like your hundreds of thousands of dollars boat and you're like, "All
Yeah.
right, goodbye."
After
That yeah, that would not be
you
fun.
call the insurance company, you say it was stolen.
Yeah, literally. Ah, that's funny. Alrighty. Okay, let's just dive right into some of these questions over here. Okay. What's the best advice that you've ignored?
So we were talking about this. I don't know if like anybody ever really gave us this advice, but I think this is one of those things that like you hear all the time, which is like don't ever go to bed angry. And I gotta say,
Mhm.
that's seriously probably the one of the dumbest things you could ever be told. Like I can just imagine like it's midnight, you're both exhausted and you're upset about something. And so hey, let's make this even worse. Let's just continue to have an argument where we're both tired and can't think straight.
Yeah.
I mean that's one of them that I thought of.
I 100% agree with that. I took some marriage and family class in school and my professor said something along the lines of like go to bed angry, that's totally fine, but always sleep in the same bed. Like no matter what, It's like cuz once you put that distance between you physically, then it's like, there's room for more distance to grow metaphorically. So I don't know. I just think that it's okay to go to bed angry, especially when it's like in the middle of the night and you're like, hello, I'm so like delirious and exhausted. I can't even have like a normal conversation and think logically about what I'm angry about. So it's like, yeah, just go to sleep, wake up. You can talk about it in the morning or whenever.
So one piece of advice I've heard, I mean, I don't even know if this is advice or if this is just something stupid people say, but one of the things I heard one time was if you ever get in an argument, you both have to just take off your clothes. And so, so it's like it's like then all of a sudden you're like, hey, let's not argue, let's take care of business. Now
Yeah.
that might be more from a guy's perspective that it's a good idea than a girl's, but I've heard it, I've never tried it.
I mean, I feel like to an extent, yeah, that could work, but also sometimes there's problems that do really need to be worked out via talking.
Yeah. It's fun. Like I don't want to like put on this like vision of like my marriage is perfect, even though it is. But like I seriously, I think there's been three times, like we've been married for 25 years. I think there's been three, maybe four times that I can think of when like Renee and I were upset with each other. And I mean, when I say like upset, like there's times where like I have my roll my eye moments of like whatever, Renee, that's just like Renee being Renee kind of thing.
Mhm.
Or like a girl math moment or something like that.
Yeah.
Or she just is gonna do something different than how I would do it. Like those are like little just frustrations that happens in a relationship. I'm talking about like I think I've yelled at her like once, maybe twice. And so I'm like,
Mhm.
you know what? For 25 years, it's not too shabby. So
That's pretty good. Good
yeah.
on you, Dad. Good on you.
Going back to like advice that I have ignored. So I don't really know if I ever got this kind of advice when like when it was going on. If I did, maybe then I did ignore it. But like going back, and this is a can I'll keep kicking a lot, is the cell phone thing. And I really wish that I had handled cell phones much differently with my kids than I did. I mean, the book Anxious Generation, we talked about that a few episodes ago.
Mhm.
Incredibly important advice in there is great. I don't know if I could hold off till getting a kid a phone till like they're 16, which is kind of like the most extreme. But if man, it'd be awesome if like all parents decided like, hey, let's just hold off on cell phones until they're way older. At least 12 or 14 would be nice.
Yeah.
Um,
I know, I wish it was easier to, like, get a community of people like everybody in their elementary school classes and be like, okay, guys, we're all going to band together and not get our kids cell phones until, what X age, whatever. But it's like, yeah, I don't know. It's crazy. Especially now, kids get phones in like early elementary school. That's crazy to me. That's
yeah.
crazy.
And the craziest part too is they'll give them unlocked cell phones at that age. And you're like,
Yeah.
dude, and then with like no rules attached as far as like having a place to put the phone at night or shutting down any
Hmm.
websites or anything like that. And so if you're giving a kid, I'm just gonna say this, if you are the parent that is giving your kid an unlocked cell phone, just fully expect that they will have an addiction, they'll have relationship issues, they won't know how to interact with people. They'll inevitably, if especially if they're a boy, they will find pornography very quick. I don't care how old or good your kid is. If you give your kid an unlocked cell phone, they will come across it.
Yeah. That's just one of the things that is just so frustrating to me because people are unfortunately really clueless about a lot of these things. But that book is so good and I highly recommend it. And even Jade, didn't Jonathan read it? Or I know David. David for sure listened to it and he's like, "Oh, I love this book." And so to me, if David, who's now he's a 19-year-old boy,
Yeah.
if he can read it and love it, then that's a good sign.
Yeah. So the rule I have is if you're going to get social media, you have to read a couple books. One of them is The Anxious Generation, just because it talks about the addictive nature of it. It affects girls different than it affects guys. Girls, a lot of times, it's through self esteem or body image issues, whereas guys, it's
Mhm.
almost always towards pornography. But then the FOMO aspect is 100% into play. FOMO is fear of missing out. For anybody who's like older than me that
Mhm.
doesn't know, um,
Yeah.
but it's a real thing. And then like look at us as adults. Like I guess it's funny. Like, and I think we'll talk about this later. Like I give out wonderful advice all the time, and I'm not really good at if I followed the advice I've given out in my life, my life would be so perfect. Like it would be so put together. It'd be amazing.
I know. Isn't that the funny thing is that you can just give out advice and be like, "Oh, I really think that this is how you should do it or whatever." And then you just don't even do it yourself. Like for the longest time, I've been talking to Brandon about how I want to get like a basket or something, I don't exactly know, but like a place where we can put our phones when we're home so we're not easily distracted by it. And I'm just like, why I should just that's a great advice. I should do that. And I tell my friends
Yeah,
about this idea. I'm like, guys, I want to do this. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And I literally never have done it, but it would be super easy to just buy like a phone basket or something, and like get that out of our minds because it
yeah,
takes up so
seriously.
much time.
And then it's like we always have this like, well, I mean, what if like somebody needs to get in touch with me? Like, honestly, most of us aren't that important that we need to be contacted all the time. Like, like quit thinking
Literally. Yep.
most likely the emergency is not going to happen, and you're going to be okay.
Yeah. And if it does, that's okay.
Yeah. If it does, then like every hour, go look at your phone and just make sure you're okay or whatever. I don't
Yeah,
know.
exactly.
I haven't done it yet this year, but like almost every year, I think every year I've done this where I'll have a month fast from social media. And it's funny because that first couple days, like legit, you have itchy palms where you're like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
and
I
you just
need
want
it.
to check your
Yeah.
phone. And the problem is like a lot of times you start substituting something else on your phone. And so where like for me, like all right, I'm not going on X or Instagram. Okay, now I'm going on to news apps or I'm looking at sports apps.
Mhm.
And really what it should be is like I should just say where's a book? And so I just have a book with me at all times. Then when I have that itchy palm, I just open up the book and I start reading the book.
Mhm. I really like that. I saw it one time. It was this lady talking about how she's like working on getting rid of her phone addiction. And one of the things is that she does is every single time she pulls out her phone to look at it, before she looks at it, she has to verbalize and vocally say exactly what she's going to do. So if she's going to send a text to somebody, she's like, okay, I'm sending a text to mom or whoever, or if she's going to look at like I'm gonna watch an Instagram reel. Like she has to verbally say it because then it allows her mind to acknowledge, okay, this is what I'm gonna do, and then it helps you decide if it's really important or if you have to do it then, and if you need to actually be on your phone. I've tried. It's so hard. It's so
Yeah.
hard to do it, but
But it's
that's a good
important
piece
because
of advice.
yeah, because how many times? I mean, you're like, oh, I need to send a text to so
Yeah.
and so, and then all of a sudden you see these notifications, and then you're completely diverted into what you were doing, and you're like, oh,
Yeah.
well, that's no
It
good.
happens to me like multiple times a day. In general, I should do it whenever I like get up and go do something so I can help myself remember all the things that are
Yeah,
going on because I get so distracted by everything around me. Like, it's terrible.
yeah. So some other advice that I've received, and I think I've done a pretty good job of following this one. I feel like this has been a rough year for me, but one of the advice I got was to take care of your body.
Mhm.
And so like when I was in my 20s, like I could eat whatever I wanted, I felt like, and there was almost no side effects. And it was interesting, when Renee was pregnant with you, before she was pregnant, we'd go to the gym all the time. And even when she was pregnant, like we'd still go to the gym a lot. But the difference was like she just had a hankering for ice cream. And so we ate a lot of ice cream when she was pregnant with you. And like to the point where like we would go to Ben and Jerry's and get like a pint each, and like probably 3 to 4 times a week we would each eat our own pint of ice cream. And
That's
so
impressive.
it was a good time, man. Like we didn't have we didn't have any money except for ice cream, but
Yeah.
inflation wasn't a thing back then, so we could afford it. um but anyway, so during her pregnancy, obviously she's putting on weight. I put on some good sympathy weight, and I didn't even
Of
realize it
course.
until like after the fact, where I think it was like I was looking at pictures at one point, and I think she had already had Aubrey at this point, and I'm like, holy crap! Like I went from weighing like 165 to when we were married to where I'm almost kicking 200 pounds. And so that's when I kind of started some of these goals that I was doing, because I was like, I'm not gonna allow this to happen because I see too many people that are overweight and they can't play with their kids, and I'm like, that's not going to be me. And so like I got into running, I got into lifting again, and like I lost all that weight through marathons and things like that. Um, so I mean, advice that I've been given again is like take care of your health. And that's as I'm getting older, like closer to 50, like my metabolism's
Yeah.
nowhere near what it used to be. And I now realize like the importance of like having macros and eating enough protein and eliminating sugar. Like my mentality used to always be, I'll burn more calories than I take in so I can eat whatever I want. And I've unfortunately came to the realization that that's not true. You have to eat good things and not eat very many bad things.
Yeah, I feel like um this kind of reminded just me of when we were growing up during the summers. You would always make a chore chart for us, and every single day that chore chart included like read your scriptures, read a book, say your prayers, like make your bed, you brush your teeth,
Yeah.
get ready for the day, like all those things. But I like that because in a way, I guess that's like a form of advice because you're trying to guide us into making habits and stuff. But whenever I don't know, during the summer, I just remembered that that was so helpful to me because instead of just waking up and going and turning on the TVs and you're just like sitting there doing nothing all day, but you actually get some things done and you're productive. And when you wake up and the first thing you do in the morning is make your bed, you already checked something off your box. You can only go up from there. So I don't know. Like I just that's always something super helpful to me. I mean I feel like I hardly ever make my bed these days, but I also it's like I wake up and I go straight to running after kids. But I think that that's every single time I do make my bed, I'm like, okay, the day can only go up from here. So
Yeah. Not today, Satan. I made my bed.
I know literally I should just make my bed before I go grab the kids every day, but that's okay.
I, I'll tell you what, Renee's the better bed maker, but there's times where it's like, if she doesn't do it, I'm like, all right, I know that she likes it, so let me make it. And it's funny, like, it's funny how making a bed, like, I remember there was an episode of Full House, a TV show that you never watched. At least I don't think you ever watched. And
I haven't.
one of the episodes, like the dad kept getting on his daughter, like, I need you to make your bed. And she's like, why do I need to make my bed? I'm just going to get it dirty again. And he goes, you know, you're absolutely right. So I don't need you to brush your teeth or comb your hair or wash your clothes, like all these things. And you're like, sometimes it is just a matter of like taking pride in just doing the little things. And when I come into my room at night and the bed's made, you feel better.
Mm-hmm. 100%. And it's like, I don't know, it just makes everything feel more put together. If your room's put together, I don't know. I feel like for me at least, I'm like, okay, everything else can easily be thrown back together if my bed looks nice,
Yeah.
relatively. But another thing that I've seen recently that I've been trying to do, so this lady, she has like this whole list of things that are super simple quick things that you can do every single day that kind of change like the course of your life, I guess. But one of the things that she's talked about is how every single time she leaves a room, she's going to pick up something that doesn't necessarily belong in that room and then go put it away in the room that she's going to. And I just really like that because, like, for me, I feel like a lot of the things around the house just get so cluttered and misorganized, and it's like, oh, if I just took a second of my day, literally, it takes 1 second to pick up one thing and drop it into the right spot. And if I did that multiple times a day, every single time I stood up to get out, go from one room to the next, it would be so much easier to just keep your home a little bit more organized. And then, yeah, I don't know, but I just like little things like that. If you just completely finish your task, it takes like probably 5 to 10 more seconds of what you were doing to completely finish something. Like instead of after you're brushing your teeth, you're setting your toothbrush down on the counter. If you pick it up and put it into the whatever container or drawer that you're putting your toothbrush in, it's uh, it's already cleaned and put away, and it's like one less thing that you have to get back to later. But it's all just finished the task completely. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that. And if you don't want to do that, my advice would be just to get a bigger house where you have clutter rooms that you
Yeah,
can just like throw stuff.
exactly. Just become a hoarder too while you're
Yeah.
at it. Who cares?
Well, it's funny because like we have that downstairs office, like almost nobody's ever in that room. Like Renee used to do a lot of studying and a lot of her online classes
Hmm.
in that room, but that room's just like
It's
it's
like a
essentially a
major
storage room.
catch-all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has craft supplies and old electronics and memory books and I don't know, it has all sort of bills and a computer that isn't even connected
Yeah.
to the internet anymore. So it's like anyway, it's it's just funny
You
what
should
we do.
sell that. Yeah.
But but Renee, last weekend because she had a lot of time for whatever reason, she cleaned up and I went in there. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. Like it's a new
You can
room.
see the floors. Yeah.
You can see she cleaned the floors actually. Yeah. So that was kind of
That's
funny.
pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That is funny. Okay, let's see. What's a piece of advice that you wish more people would take seriously?
So, I feel like a lot of the stuff that we've talked about, I'll kind of give like the threefold, and there
Mhm.
might be more that I'll add to this, but um, the health side, like taking care of your body, is so important, and what we put in it and how we exercise, like incredibly important. The next one I would say is the financial side. It doesn't matter. I mean, it does to an extent, but it doesn't really matter how much you make, it's how much you spend. And so if you can find a
Yeah.
way to put money to the side, like, I'm probably 18 to 20 years or so away from retirement, which seems like an eternity to me. You're further away, but but like it's funny, like I'm looking at, like, I'm doing projections out of, like, okay, where I've saved at now and where I think I'll be based on if I get the same type of returns, and I'm like, hot dog, like, you know what? I haven't done a lot of things right, but we've saved for retirement really good, to where I think, when I'm 65-ish, I'll probably be in a good spot to where I can retire and have a fun retirement life and be able to spend money how I want to and travel how I want to, and help out with things for grandkids and whatnot.
Mhm.
Um, so that the financial side, and then, I mean, really going back to that cell phone, like, I seriously wish that parents would be involved with their kids' lives and their online persona, because there's one of my favorite topics is the duality of man. And like, are you a good kid that's bad sometimes, or are you a bad kid that's good sometimes? And all of us, like, we all have our own lives, like on the cell phone, or I might be one way, and in church I might be another way, and at work I'm another way, but really we're trying to be like the same type of person all the time. And being involved with your kids' online life helps you understand who they really are and how to parent them. And not that you need to discipline them and like get them in trouble, but it helps you understand what their interests are and what they're after. And are they doing things that are good? Are there pictures that are inappropriate on their phones? Are they, and are they
Mm.
hiding stuff from you? Because that's the thing too. So, um, anyway, it's being involved with your kids' cell phone lives is very important, and just helps them to know that, hey, mom's going to look at my phone, so maybe I shouldn't send that picture or take that picture altogether.
Yeah, for sure. I just I don't know. I feel like mom has always taught us and preached like how good it is to eat good things. And for me, that's one of the things I'm like, man, I wish that I listened to that more because you always hear that saying of like you are what you eat, but like literally I 100% am. Like there's things that I eat and I'm like within 15 minutes I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I should not have eaten that." Like I feel like crap, you know? And
Well,
so it's
well,
just
share.
so
Sorry, share the story you're telling me about how you were frustrated with Eliza, and what mom told
Oh
you.
yeah. Yeah, okay. So I am sensitive to grains in general, but specifically I try to stay away from gluten. But so I eat a lot of sourdough that I make. I ferment it for a while, so it's pretty good there. But um I recently have just been getting so frustrated like all the time. I'm like so irritated. And I'm like, what is going on? Like I usually don't feel like this. I'm usually not like a ticking time bomb ready to explode every 2 seconds. And so I can't remember if I texted her or called mom, but she was like, try to just stay away from grain, especially in the evenings. And so like for dinner, I don't eat any bread or rice or, anything like if I have anything that's more like that, I would have potatoes or, whatever to kind of fill myself. And so she was like, just try to stay away from grains and see how you react the next day. So this one night I stay away from grains. I wake up literally night and day difference. I am a completely different person. I'm so calm. Like that day Eliza was being a little bit more frustrating and I was not bothered by it at all. Like I was completely fine. And it's like, it just is so funny how literally within less than 24 hours, I don't eat grain. And then I woke up and I'm like, feel like I'm a completely new human being. So there you have it. go talk to go talk to my mom. She's pretty good with the health stuff. But it's like, I
Yeah.
don't know, it's just it's crazy. There's some things that I don't even think about, and I'm like I don't know. It's crazy how my body is so sensitive to some foods, but it's really been helping me figuring out. Okay, I'm more sensitive to this, and so if I stay away from it, I'm going to feel better. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, on that food thing, so there's a lady that Renee's treating, and in the interview, she's like, "Tell me about your diet." And so, do you drink soda? And this lady, she drinks a lot of either Coke Zeros or Diet Cokes, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But she drinks a lot of it. And anyway, like she's like, "Look, I know you can do whatever you want to do, but I strongly recommend you do not drink soda. Period. Especially caffeine soda. It's just not good for you. Just drink water." And I know, like, for a lot of people, that's like, it's like, the worst thing you could
Mhm.
ever say to them. But it's not good for you. Like, she's having all sorts of hormonal issues and lady problem issues, and a lot of it comes back to what she's putting in her body, and she's putting a lot of Diet Coke in there, and it's not doing her good.
Yeah, that's like a whole nother. We should have mom come and join
I
us
know.
on the podcast episode and talk about all of that stuff. But yeah, it's crazy. Um, well, I mean, that was kind of a shorter episode today. It's kind of crazy. Is there anything else, Dad, that you have to share?
I guess it's important in life that we're well rounded. So here's some advice. Like, here's some advice that, like, I give people, like, when they're getting married or
Yeah.
whatever. One I would say is, whatever you did to trick that person into marrying you, you have to keep doing it. And so, like, the dates, like, Brandon was dating you, he has to continue to date you. I need to continue to date Renee.
Hmm.
um, Something that I would, if possible, I would strongly recommend that at least once a year, married couples have a mom and dad outing all to themselves, like a multi-day if possible. Like, you got little kids, so that's kind of challenging, but through your grandparents or your kids' grandparents and your grandparents, like, we can easily
Hmm.
put together some time. And it doesn't have to be anything amazing. I mean, we've done cheap, let's just go to Mesquite. I mean, it could be literally like, we just need a night away, but it's important. Like, when we did one of these probably 15 years ago, like, part of me was nervous because we've gone on dates and we talk, but most of the talk is like shop talk. It's like, how are the kids doing? What's school? We got to pay these bills, And so
Hmm.
Renee and I did a week long. We were gone, and on the airplane we talked about all the stuff, like the school and the bills and the normal stuff. And then we put on like 1,200 miles on a rental car in a week, and we did a lot of driving. And it was so fun to just start laughing and talking and be with each other again, instead of always having to be like business talk of like the business of running a family. And so I would greatly emphasize, like, you need to have you time, like with you and your spouse, like, that's important. The other advice is, you need to continue to develop who you are as a person, because what's going to happen is, at some point your kids are going to leave the house, and you're going to look and say, well, who am I now? I've been raising kids for the last 20 whatever years.
Hmm.
I don't even know who I am anymore. And, like, that can cause a life crisis and whatever. But it's important that you have things that you like to do, whether it's working out or yoga or violin or, pickleball or tennis, or like a billion things. But find things that you like to do that give you fulfillment.
Yeah, I even on top of that too, like, don't be afraid to jump into and learn how to do new things. Like, I feel like I don't remember how long ago it was, but when you started going back and taking guitar lessons, like, you're definitely older than most of her students probably. So, but it's like it's something that you wanted to learn, so might as well take the time in your life to go and learn it. Like, you only live once, am I right? Like
No,
this.
what
So,
what's what's funny about that is, like, a part of me laughs because, like, I think of Seinfeld. I don't know how much Seinfeld you've watched, but there's an episode where Kramer is in this karate dojo, whatever, and he's telling,
yeah.
like, George, he's telling the guys, like, what he's doing. He's like, oh yeah, I'm the top in the class, and then they realize, like, he's against like 8-year olds
It's
and
like a
10-year olds.
children's class.
Yeah, and so
That's so funny.
so it's funny, like, when I was playing guitar, like, the teacher's like, no, we have a mandatory, like, recital, like, you have to go. And
Yes.
I'm like, Jenny, I'm 40 years old, Jenny. Like, I don't want to go to this recital. She's like, it doesn't matter. You need to do this. And so
You have to
I'm like,
perform.
all right.
Yes.
And so I show up to the recital, and, like, it's funny because literally I was the oldest person there. There's like people that are like 6 years old playing,
Yep.
and thankfully I was a little bit better because, like, my mom wasn't making me practice. I actually wanted to learn it, and it was fun. I mean, like made lots of mistakes, and but it was a good time, and I got better because of it.
Yeah, that's so fun. I feel like lately I've been trying to, not lately, I mean, within the last 2 years or so, I've been trying to teach myself how to do more crafts. Like, I taught myself how to knit and crochet and embroider, like all those little things. It's just so fun being able to like just work with your hands and do something that's fulfilling for yourself sometimes. So,
No, and no doubt you've gotten better. I mean, like some of the gifts, like the
yeah,
ties you made, that was super cool. And I
thank
know
you.
I don't want to remind you of this, but I think Jonathan's still waiting for the beard part of his
No,
beanie.
it's literally I have it. I have it and it's finished, but we just
Oh
have to
crap.
get it attached to the beanie. So,
Yeah, for those of you who don't know what we're talking about, my son Jonathan, Addison's brother, he loves wearing beanies, and there's a particular beanie that has a beard attached to it, and that is like one of the funniest and fun things that he likes to wear.
yes, and I made him one, but I have to give him
Finish
all the
making.
parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Ah,
I mean, look, here's
yeah,
my last
life
piece of
is
advice.
good.
Seriously, like enjoy life. One of the things, I was in an ecclesiastical leader role one time, and I'd met with a lot of people that had a lot of various issues. And I remember meeting with a girl one time, and she had just all sorts of depression and anxiety, and she's trying to work her way through that. And so I asked her one time, I said, "What are you looking forward to?" And she was like, "Nothing." I was like, "That needs to change. Like you need to have a vacation planned, a massage, a restaurant you want to go try out. Like it doesn't matter how big or small, like look forward to something." And like on a day to day, it could be like, I can't wait for Brandon to come home, or I can't wait for Eliza to, be fully potty trained and not fight me about it anymore. But it should also be bigger things like, oh, I can't wait for our vacation next year, or whatever it is. But to have that looking forward to something motivates you, because 90+% of life is blah. It's cooking, cleaning, working, paying bills. That's most of life. And when you go on Instagram, you see everybody else is on vacation but you, until you realize like it's just the timing of it. But look forward to things, and that makes life more exciting as well.
Yeah, I really like that. I think, yeah, that's what makes a lot of the things that we're doing these days a lot more exciting is when you have an end point to something. Like, okay, if I work this hard, I know I can go down to Las Vegas for Thanksgiving. It just makes it a lot more achievable.
So
But yeah,
so
I really like
so
that.
real quick, so we do a lot of these, like fitness challenges. Like we would do these diets, like, okay, for the next 90 days no sweets, or whatever. And so
Hmm.
there was one time I was starting one of these challenges, and so Renee, for like, I had a friend and he had a shaved ice machine at a fair, and it's like Renee was helping them. So I'm watching you kids, like I put all you kids to bed. You probably were like 8 at the time or something like that, maybe even younger. And so I'm like, okay, after I put the kids to bed, I'm gonna do this hard workout. And I got some Haagen-Dazs caramel cone ice cream. I'm
Yes.
going to eat this. And so I put you guys to bed, I clean the house, I do my workout, and it's like, I mean, it's way too late, honestly, to be eating ice cream. It's like 10:30 at night. And I'm like, I don't care. I like, this is my last treat for like 3 or 4 months. I don't care. And so I open it up and I take that first bite, and it was rancid. And I was like,
No,
I was so mad.
that's
And then
so heartbreaking.
and then to make things worse, like you kids are all home, like you're in bed, like I can't just leave
Yeah,
you,
you can't
you know?
go. Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, I guess I'm not gonna get my caramel cone. Oh well.
Dang it. That's the worst. That is the worst. That's so funny. Oh, I actually remember when mom was working at that snow cone machine. Good
Yeah,
times.
good times.
Anywho, well, yeah, I think this was a pretty decent episode over here.
That's
I
why we
don't think
got
I
the
have
listeners,
anything else to ask you. Exactly. Oh, alrighty. Well, do you have anything else, Dad?
I got nothing else. This is good talking to you. Like
Alrighty.
here,
It's good
you're
talking to
you're
you.
you're doing good stuff. Like keep up the good stuff that you're doing. Enjoy it. It's fun. Life is hard, but it's fun.
Thank you. Well, I love you very much, and I hope you guys all have a great time listening to this episode. We'll see you next
Yeah.
week.